Boom, forcing your hand. We're going, brother. Nice to have you on.
Thanks, man.
Have you
Yeah,
done a podcast before, dude?
I have not. First one.
Oh, they're super easy. I've done. It actually feels like I haven't recorded an episode in like months. So if I'm rusty, I apologize.
No, dude, you're good. We've been in the field. Come back to civilization. Everything's a little out of whack when we're back here.
You know what's crazy is that I'm having a harder time recording during September this year, and I haven't even hunted remotely like as much as I did last year, and I had no issues like getting the podcast a couple weeks out, and I don't know how that works, but I think it's just a bunch of other shit going on.
Yeah, dude, it's just a busy time of year. We train all year for it. Even if we're not out in the field, it just seems like September's here and then it's gone. Year picks up pretty fast right around now.
You're having a year if you want to talk hunting. Holy smokes, you're doing all right.
Yeah, man, thanks. Yeah, it's been a brutal season. Not gonna lie. I've had some opportunities, got lucky, put in a lot of time, but
You know what I've noticed is that really good hunters always say that they got lucky. So I don't want to
yeah.
hear that. I don't want to hear that bullshit out of you, dude. Like, maybe a little luck, but come on.
Yeah, no, dude. There's always a little bit of luck involved to some extent, I feel like. Hell, dude, there's a couple times. Honestly, I think biggest thing it comes down to is just putting time in the field. I mean, even on the slow time when you want to go home, go get a greasy cheeseburger or something, just you got to stick it out, man, and stay out there and opportunities will come. That's the biggest thing I've found. And this year, same thing. It's been brutal, like I was saying. Elk just been pretty much almost dead quiet for me.
Yeah.
Antelope, they are kicking my ass too. Those things, they're just hard. They're just wide open and just hard putting a good stock on them. But yeah, going back to elk. So this year, I mean, I had three solid opportunities. Two got ruined just by dumbest little things. There's always some luck on the elk side as well. Stalking in just to this little park where I've seen elk in the past and creeping through, moving really slow. It's a little old trail. And anyways, a lot of loose shale is on the trail. And just doing that, I had one more step and I would have been in the clearing of the edge of the park and didn't know that there's elk in there, just hunting through that little clearing, just like expecting that there would be elk. And sure enough, last step, stepped on a little pebble. Smaller than a golf ball, man. And my ankle rolled off of it. As soon as that happened, I just heard just that the woods erupted, just hoofs running. Saw antlers coming up over, and then stepped out. That bull, he hit the timber. Looked up to the right. There's another bull moving up the park, and followed him. He was heading to this really thick bedding area up on top. And once he hit that, I know that they have two locations that they go through. And of course, I picked the wrong one. Had him at 110 yards, good bull, broadside. That one, everything was going good until it wasn't, man. And then, yeah, that's how it seems to go.
Yeah, I always say like I just use round numbers and I say 10 things. I'm always like, man, you got to have 10 things go perfectly in order to kill. At least what I've
Mm-hmm.
seen, and I'm sure there's way more, countless more than 10, but for me it's always that last second wind change is what I notice the most.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
like you'll be getting into position right where you want to be, and then all of a sudden, man, you feel that you feel that wind on the back of your neck. You're like, "Oh,
Game over, man. At that
jeez,
point,
oh,
yep.
Pete." And like you're not going to trick them.
Oh
Like
no.
you're really not. Like I've never tricked a bull.
No, I know. I've given up completely on scent products in the mountains because you take a couple hundred steps and you're sweating up a little bit. You already got your scent back in those clothes, man.
Oh yeah, dude. Like it's impossible. Like I get the whitetail thing, like where I'm
Yeah,
from. I get
yeah,
that. I get that, especially like half these dudes they got all their stands set and whatever, and they just bomb in there,
Hmm.
freaking, quarter, half mile, and walking real slow. So they don't really work up a lather. So I
Yeah,
think all the product does hopefully like what they say it does. At least, it works half as good as they say it does. That
yeah,
that'll help. But out here, dude, like, I mean, you're putting on miles and miles and miles, not to mention like the fact that you probably haven't showered in however long you've been out there, 4, 5, 6, 7, 10 days.
yeah,
Like, I don't
yeah,
care what you're putting on, brother. Like, oh,
yeah.
brutal.
Merino wool, best thing, and I don't even wear it just for the animals. I wear it for my sake, dude. Being up
Yep.
in the mountain 7 days, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
It gets unpleasant sometimes.
So my thing is that you said been a brutal year, um, but you got like two of the main tags punched, which is pretty impressive. Why has it been brutal? Just elk aren't talking how you've been wanting them to, or what?
Yeah, so combination of things. So elk are quiet this year. They were last year too. Lots of pressure. That's big thing. But I mean, the one thing I've noticed is just a lot of people, they'll bomb up the mountain, they'll bugle all over it, and they'll head down. But me, I knew that there's elk in the area, and I know their routines. So I pretty much just did away with, for the most part, I did away with the calling this year because every time I did, I would just call in another hunter. And so just with that fact, I mean, it was brutal just because really slow days. I had about 10 to 15 minutes of action first light, and that's just when the elk would be going up to their bedding areas, and then probably 15 minutes as well on the evening hunts too. And I mean, after that, I mean, yeah, it's just kind of because I mean, up there where I was, it's a big area, but it's cliffed out in a lot of sections. So the elk are just kind of in this one little area, and you can't go walking all over that mountainside. You're just gonna blow it out. So I mean, it's kind of you just after that first 15 minutes, you just find a park and just sit there, and then you just wait, and then yep, you keep on waiting all day and just kind of hang out. I mean, it's a good way to kind of escape everything, though. I mean, it's nice just being up there, but yeah, it makes for a long day,
Yeah,
long
those
week.
those days and yeah, they get long, dude.
Yeah,
Extremely long, especially 30 minutes total for the whole day of like
yeah.
heck yeah, like man, it's not for the faint of heart, brother. Like I realize that now going on my second year is that if you don't love this shit, like just fucking go home.
Oh yeah, dude.
Like
Yeah.
just go
Well,
home. Like if you don't really, really enjoy getting after it and and getting through those long days when there's nothing going on, go the fuck home, man, because you ain't gonna kill nothing. I promise you,
mhm.
you're not. If you don't love this, and you don't have to. A lot of guys go out with really not even an intent to like try to harvest, an elk, which is fine, but they
Yeah.
love it. But they love
Oh
it. They
yeah.
love
Yeah.
being out there. If you are doing it for reasons that you shouldn't be doing it, not for the love of it, just go, dude, because this shit is so damn difficult and you ain't gonna get as lucky as you need to get in order to get it done, in my
Oh,
opinion. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, dude. No, I know. I hear you. I mean, I think I told you it took me 8 or 10 years to find a kill with a bow. So I mean,
no,
started out.
I don't think you did, but that saves me a question. Go into this, please.
Yeah,
Explain, because I was gonna ask you, like, when did it start to click? But it sounds like it took a while.
it did, and I
Yeah,
feel like it probably took longer for me than it should have. But I mean, we all learn at our own pace, and I feel like I got a pretty good grasp on it now. But I mean, I had my opportunities, lots of opportunities that I should have sealed the deal on.
just over the years.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
over the years. I mean, yeah, I got into elk pretty much every time I'd go out. Had a lot of good easy shots, but back then, dude, I had target panic so bad, and I mean, if you have that, that's just a killer. I mean, yeah, that I shot at a couple bulls in the past, but I mean, really, my biggest thing was switching up just my calling sequences, uh, calling less too, and just being more patient, dude. I mean, biggest things for me, and yeah, just saying like I don't go back to camp anymore. I might cruise by it, just go check, see if there's any elk over there, because I have had big bulls right like 30 yards below my tent one time, and it was just crazy.
just a cruel fucking game, bro.
Oh, dude, yeah, yeah. I
It's
know, like
such a cruel game.
sleeping in the middle of the night. I have bulls right outside my tent. I'm
Just
like, they
brutal.
aren't talking all day, but then they're right by me at night. I'm like, where, what?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, dude, but yeah, no. So I mean, really, it started to click 3 years ago, I can say. So I was one of those people, found one area, always got into elk, never left the area. And then one year, just they weren't really going in there. And I was like, I'm going to go just check out some random areas. Kind of been in the back of my mind. Didn't really even e-scout them that much, just kind of had an idea. Then I opened up onX that day and I was sitting in my truck. I was like, well, found this spot, started driving. Yeah, I didn't realize it was like at 9,000 feet. It took me a long time to get there, but
Mhm.
instantly, dude, into elk. And then after that, I went to the lower country, instantly into elk too. So, I mean, that's another big thing is just staying mobile. Don't get stuck to one place. I mean, if they're going good, if you know there's elk in the area, yeah, stay in there. But no, switching up the game plan just on the fly can sometimes work. I'd rather have the e-scouting better like ahead of time compared to what I did. I put on a lot of miles once I got into those areas and I found the elk, and that was honestly my best year of elk hunting. Just doing that, I was in elk every single day for about 30 days, and
Wow.
still didn't kill a bull. But I mean, I should have. I had my opportunities, but again, going back to that target panic, had that bad. But killed a cow October 10th, and just that year really made it click. Just being around all those elk all day, watching them, seeing what they're doing, because the area that I hunted for all those years, I mean, it's really good, but it's really thick and there's no glassing points. So you could hear the elk. You could be 30 yards away from them and never see them. And there were seasons where I would never see an elk, even though I was 20 to 30 yards away from them multiple times. And just getting that eyes on the elk, I mean, that was a big like game changer for me. So just doing that, that made a lot of things click. Finally, kind of just doing more spot and stock. That's kind of my style of hunting now. Um, I added in a lot more calf calling now instead of bugles too. That was a big
Yeah.
thing for me.
I don't bugle at all.
Yeah, yeah, it's
Everybody that I know personally that kills bulls, they don't
mm-hmm.
even bring calls.
Yep,
They don't
yeah,
even bring
no,
calls, and they're the best hunters I know. So it's like
yeah,
fuck. It's like fuck. Like I want to be like them, you know?
yeah, yeah. I'm kind of done being a Doug Flutie, as they call him.
Yeah, yeah. I know. I know a couple guys that are like that, and I just don't. I don't like hunting like that. For some reason, I don't. I'd rather plan my attack and ambush and be quiet. You
Yep,
know,
yeah,
like
that's
and
a key.
yeah. And one thing I've noticed is you talked about you were willing to stay mobile, and I think
Mm-hmm.
that's a big deal. Like if um I had a guy, well James Nash, he runs a podcast, Six Ranch podcast. He posted a story the other day, probably like 5 days ago, and he was like, this time of year, if you can't hear them, you're just not into them because
Yeah,
at least where he's at in Oregon, they're talking, or they were at least. So that always also bothers me when people in this state are like, "Oh man, they're not talking, they're not talking." Like, I mean, maybe they're not, but it's also September 25th. You can't tell me they're not fucking fired up right now. Like, there's
yeah,
no way that they're not, unless you're in like a really populated area where they know that there's
mm-hmm.
a lot of humans, so maybe they won't talk as much. But in my opinion, that when he said that, that resonated with me because I was like, that makes so much sense. If you can't hear them, you're just not into them, especially this time of year.
Yeah. It's funny that you say that. One of my buddies, he just said that yesterday too, that exact same thing. And
Really? Yeah, I like
yeah,
that. I like that a
yeah,
lot.
yeah. And like this year, like I was saying, they weren't talking much, but they still were talking. But even when they weren't talking, I would hear them. I could hear them
Sure.
going through the drainages, kicking rocks, popping sticks and stuff. So I mean, that's just another thing to listen for. I mean, yeah, it's just the game's been changing a bit lately. I mean,
I think
just all
six.
the pressure. But no, I agree. I mean, they're going to be talking. Maybe not as much, like you said, if it's an over-pressured area.
Yeah.
But I mean, still, you go into some of those high-pressured areas, and they're screaming at night at least, or first thing in the morning or evenings.
I got sidetracked for a second, but back to my point, is that you mentioned being mobile, and I try to do that too.
Hmm.
But I think what comes with being mobile is obviously you're checking off more boxes, you're laying down more pins, you're covered more country. Therefore, your chances of finding elk are gonna increase if you're just bouncing all over the place from spot to spot to spot. Eventually, you're gonna find them.
Oh
And
yeah,
I feel like over the years, I mean, how long you been hunting elk? Long time, over a decade, right?
oh yeah, yeah. Probably. Well, I mean, if you include rifle hunting, since I could first hunt, so 12.
Sure. So, like, when I look at my Onyx on my phone,
Hmm.
I think it's personally like pretty impressive. Like, I have quite a few pins, and they're scattered
Hmm.
everywhere for all different,
Yeah,
like, whatever I'm hunting. I got camping spot, I got everything, right? Well,
sure.
for somebody that's had Onyx yourself, do you use
Hmm.
Onyx?
Yeah, I do.
Okay. I bet yours is probably just one sea of red or orange.
Yeah,
And
there's quite a bit.
sure. And what I'm trying to get at here is that you have a lot of spots on your maps that you probably like year after year, you know that the elk are in there. You kind of
Hmm.
know where they hang out. You know what they're doing. You have spots that are confirmed. So you're not spending as much time looking or going
Yeah,
in blind, as some people like to call it. Hey, if elk
yeah.
aren't in my favorite spot, I'm just going to go to my second favorite spot. Well, if they're not
Hmm.
there, fuck, I'm going to go to the third, fourth, and fifth. Eventually, they're going to be in one of your spots where you've already confirmed elk.
Yeah.
Me being on year two, man, I got a ton of pins and I got, quite a few that, especially in the permit unit that I was at last year, which I don't have this year, but I like that's a confirmed spot for me. Like
Yeah.
they were in there
Just
every single time that I was in this set spot. So I think as the years progress, I'm going to be able to add more pins and spend less time driving
yeah,
and
oh yeah, dude.
e-scouting, being like, that looks pretty good, maybe we should go check this out, and
Hmm.
have my confirmed spots and know that, hey, you're gonna have a pretty good opportunity to find some in here based on years
Yeah.
past and experience. So that, and again, that's just time, right? It's just time and it's years.
Yeah, oh yeah, dude. Yeah, yeah. Just that's one thing. Just having all those extra backup plans. I mean, it's nice. I mean, yeah, I do that quite a bit. I fall back on my old spots too. I mean, and that's always a good thing to have. Just doing that. Um, yeah, I mean, just it's good having a bunch of extra ones in the bank vault.
Yes, I agree. I really do. God, it's so addicting though, isn't it, man? I love I try to vary it up with, I mean, you listen to the show, I kind of have people from all different walks of life, and we'll do hunting, every, I don't know, third, fourth week, it seems like. But I'm making it a point that I don't want to just talk hunting with anybody. I want to talk
Yeah,
hunting with good fucking hunters. And I consider you a good hunter, even though I've only known you for, hell, a couple months. We met through Brady. But
yeah.
I just,
Thanks, man.
I like picking, absolutely, I like picking guys' brains like you, because now I'm not going to lie, dude. I'm trying to like expedite my learning curve as quick as fucking possible. And if I can do
Yeah,
that by talking to guys that are, I, like earlier, I called you fucking killer. It's true. Like you just get it done, even though like you're very humble about it, which is another reason why I appreciate you. But yeah, it's just impressive, man. These guys that are just getting it done year after year with bows. Holy smokes, man. It's just, I know there's something that clicks.
yeah,
But for you, you just kind of shut up a little bit and stop bugling as much, hit some cow calls, and then you'd go track them down and get it done silently.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, man. Yeah, it's
I
like
see that as a pretty common theme with a lot of good hunters.
yeah, yeah. It's kind of just over the last few years, it's just been slowly switching from that. I was one of those guys. I tried the challenge bugle all the time, and
Hmm.
I had some where it worked, but most of the time, that bull, he'd just grab his cows and run off and
Yes,
just take them up to the bedding area.
yes.
But yeah, this year, I mean, well, even like last year. So I mentioned earlier switching up to a lot more calf calls and stuff.
Hmm.
And ever since I've done that, I've noticed I've been calling in a lot more bulls. cows as well, and they don't seem to pick up their cows and just run off because they just think it's like a calf. So they're coming around, checking things out. They'll come in, and this year, so when I killed my bull, I had a combination of calf calls, and I did a few tending grunts and some whines and stuff too, and one bugle, and so I could hear the bulls. They were moving through the drainage, and funny thing is, I was actually in that drainage for about 2 or 3 hours prior to this, and it was just downpouring. As soon as that rain stopped, I had to start moving, and I was just too cold. So I got up on top, and instantly they're right down there, right where I was sitting. And so yeah, did a couple of tending calls and stuff, and some calf calls, and all of a sudden I heard them get past me, and that wind was going from my face to my back. So I started to run back towards them to cut them off. I knew that they'd probably come up and try and catch my wind, just like they always do.
Mm-hmm.
And three bulls came up running through the trail, and 5 yards. They were all standing there, and I couldn't tell which one was which. It was just so thick in there. I knew which bulls they were because I've seen them the past couple days, and just had a good frontal shot on one, and I hammered him just perfectly right in the chest, and I mean that was all she wrote on that one, dude. It was pretty intense.
Man, did you see that video? I literally just watched it like an hour ago. Do you follow Black Rifle Hunting or Black Rifle Coffee? One of their
Yeah,
Black Rifle Outdoors or something. Did you see
yeah,
that? Did you see that fucking guy call that bull in, and it was on a dead sprint, and he draws,
yeah,
and
and
the bull
almost
pretty
ran
much.
him over.
Holy shit! If you guys, for everybody listening to this, I think it's Black Rifle Coffee's outdoor page. Go to their page, pause the podcast, and it's one of their like most recent posts. And this guy's calling this bull in. This bull is literally on a dead sprint coming up
It's
this
so
ridge
wild.
at him. And then he decides he's going to draw because this bull's full fucking sprint at him. And I didn't listen to any volume. I was driving, so I didn't have the volume
Hmm.
on. But, like, dude, legit, like, I mean, I think he got clipped a little bit. He damn near
Oh,
fell over. He,
yeah, it
he
looks
might
like
have
it.
he might have fell over. It's unbelievable. So, I mean, here
Well,
Travis and I are talking about not calling, and this guy's just ripping bugle tubes, I think. And holy smokes, man,
well, dude,
unbelievable.
on that video, you can actually hear it sounds like he shot him and hit him too.
Really? Yeah, I didn't have the
Yeah,
volume on. He did
yeah,
call that
yeah,
bull in, didn't he?
yeah.
Okay,
I'm pretty
okay,
sure. Yeah,
okay.
yeah. No, dude, that's crazy. It wasn't quite that intense on mine, but
Yeah,
I can only imagine.
I guess I didn't even really need the volume. I assumed that he called him in because I've never seen a bull run in like that without
Yeah,
some sort of call, unless you
yeah.
have like I don't even know what else would get him to do that, but it was wild, man.
Oh, I know, dude. That's one of those stories where it's cool since he didn't get hurt, but it could have been bad.
Dude, I had a I was out northwest Montana this weekend, you know that, but the first
Yeah,
day I was like, all right, I'm gonna park at this little barrier and I'm gonna walk this logging road. And I'm walking this logging road. It was only like a mile and a half up this logging road to this like open meadow. It wasn't a terribly big meadow, but I just wanted to glass it and really just, I'd been driving all day. So I just really wanted to just get out of the truck and just take a walk and get some fresh air and just
yeah.
see if there was any sign in there. Dude, I'm not bullshitting you. I walked a mile and a half up this logging road. I glassed this meadow. Not long at all. Like it was already, it was about getting dark at the time and I was trying to hit another spot and rush and get out of there. So I just wanted to get boots on the ground really quick. And then I came out the same way I came in and I'm walking down the fucking road and I'm like, that's a pile of shit in the middle of the road. I'm like 100 yards away. I throw my glass up and I'm like, holy smokes, like the biggest pile of bear scat I've ever seen in my life. And
Yeah.
I had just crossed that path probably no longer than 20 minutes beforehand. And I sent it to my buddy
Jeez.
and my buddy's like, yeah, that's probably a grizzly. And
Yeah.
I was like, well, I just missed him by about 15, 20 minutes. And then I was like, or he just missed me, depending on how you look at it. So
Yeah.
it was kind of eerie because I was like, this is not black bear shit. This has to be grizzly shit. And I was like, man, I should probably put a bullet in my gun. So I'm like standing around, like looking around. I'm like, yeah, we should probably get the fuck out of here.
Yeah,
It
dude.
was kind of eerie, man. But I'm changing topics on you, but I really fucking enjoy bear hunting for that
Oh, dude,
reason
you.
because it's so dangerous and it's so thrilling that
Yeah.
when I see a bear, dude, like I get so excited just to see a bear. I think they're so cool, man.
Oh, I agree, 100%, dude. No, it's getting a little hairy out there with the Grizzlies. Not gonna lie, dude. I mean,
Holy
I'm always,
smokes.
yeah, I'm walking around one in the chamber constantly now. I mean, yeah, they're everywhere. Did you see there was one sighted in the breaks too?
No,
Confirmed.
really.
Yep. Yeah, so they're pretty much in all their natural habitat again.
Son of a bitch. Yeah,
Yeah.
it is. I just get so fired up about them, man. It's a blast. It is an
Oh,
absolute blast. And I had a run in with a grizzly. I don't know. Did I tell you that when I was jogging in Quorum?
yeah, yeah. You did tell me.
Yeah, bro. That was not fucking cool at all. I don't know if I've told this story on the podcast or not. Have I?
I don't
I
know.
might.
Let's hear it, man.
Yeah, I'll tell it again if I haven't. I can't remember if I did or not. I try not to repeat myself too much on here, but no, I'm running down this road in Quorum. I was gonna just explore a little bit, and I don't have like one of those sweet like fanny packs that you can have a gun in.
Yeah.
And I'm like, where we live, son, you can run anywhere around here, and
Oh, yeah.
you don't have to worry about bears.
Only
And
rattlesnakes.
of course, I'm like, all right. I take this little dead end road, and I'm glad I had my shit together because I was like, hey, I'm not gonna put headphones in on this run because I mean I'm out here. We're not in fucking Billings anymore, right? So
Yeah.
I wanted to be aware of what was going on, and I ended up picking up somebody's like dog on the way. It was like this little lab that was running next to me, so it was kind of cool. And thank God I wasn't listening to music because I heard this bear in front of me, and I was like, oh, I just heard that's not good. And I look up, and here he comes. He just crossed the road like leisurely. He wasn't running or anything, but he wasn't
Yeah.
also walking. And I stopped, and that fucking lab stopped right with me. And I'm like, I don't know if I want this dog to bark. I don't know if I want him to like get aggressive. Like this dog could really make or break this whole thing for me because all I had was bear spray, and that's a fucking helpless feeling.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
First time I've ever carried bear spray in any setting in this state ever. Like
Yeah.
I always have a pistol. And this bear got like 20, 30 yards into like this really thin timber, stopped, turned around, got up on his hind legs and looked at me eye to eye, and I'm like, okay, here it goes. And I was like, here we go. Like, this is not going to be fucking good. I'm done for. And he just dropped back down and he just kept going the way that he was going. And I looked at that dog and I was like, all right, bro, let's go. So we ran over his tracks. Like, he wasn't a giant grizzly by any stretch, but
Yeah.
he wasn't a small one either. Like, he wasn't going to like blow you back. But I
Yeah.
mean, a 300-pound grizzly, one swipe, buddy, and like,
Oh, yeah.
you're
Yeah.
not getting a podcast episode next week kind of thing, you know what I mean?
Yeah. You're gonna be hurting. Yeah, dude. No, I know. I carry hot sauce in a can too, but I also got
Absolutely.
my pistol. But yeah, I don't know. I don't trust the pepper spray as much. I mean, hell, that wind's going the wrong way. That's why I
And
call it hot sauce in a can.
it was, bro. The wind was
Yeah.
blowing right in my face. I was like, I'm fucked. I was like,
Yeah.
there's
You're
no
just
way.
gonna season yourself.
Yeah, I might as well just spray myself on purpose and just like lay down and just hope
Yep.
that he doesn't eat me. But back to Brady called me when I was heading out west this past week, and I told him where I was going. He's like, "Fuck that place." He's like, "My dad used to let me walk around that place when I was like a young kid," and he's like, "I ran into so many grizzly tracks and grizzly scat."
Hmm.
He's like, "Be careful in there," and I was like, "I've been in there before with my buddy. I've never been in there alone, but literally like 4 hours after I talked to him, I went on that little hike." And I
Yeah.
was like, I'm getting the fuck out of here, at least for now.
Yeah.
Fuck that, dude. Like, I'm not scared of bears anymore because I was scared because I got chased by a black bear when I was a kid on a four-wheeler.
Mhm.
And the bears don't bother me. The black bears, it's the fucking grizzlies.
Yeah.
I don't want nothing to do with them, dog. Nothing to do with them.
Yeah, dude, I'm the same way. Yeah, the black bears. I mean, yeah, they don't bother me. I had one actually brush up against my head while I was in my tent sleeping.
Shut up.
Yeah.
Are you
Yeah,
serious?
elk. Yeah, elk hunting. It was like 3-4 years back, but that was the only time I've been kind of like a little spooked out by a black bear.
God, I
Yeah,
would be.
but yeah, I mean, just spending time around black bears. I mean, usually they see you and they're going the other direction, but grizzlies, I mean, it's 50-50 what they do. That's why they're so sketchy.
I got a question for you, and I figured
Yeah,
you probably shoot me straight on it. So if you were let's say you were doing your first podcast like you are now, and the host asked you, "What is the most embarrassing moment that you've had in the field?" Like just absolutely shit the fucking bed, and you just still think about it every hunting season or just every now and then. You're like, "I can't believe I fucking did that." Because I've done some dumb shit out there being new. Like, I'm not gonna
yeah,
lie, I've done some shit looking back, even last year, where I'm like, "What the fuck were you doing?" Like
yeah.
that was like totally the wrong fucking move to make. And I know that there's a lot of experienced guys that listen to this show, and there's a lot of not so experienced guys that listen to the show. So coming from an experienced guy, as you know, as you are, tell me
Yeah.
a really embarrassing moment where you're just like, I can't believe that I freaking botched it that hard. And I'm not talking
I,
about like, yeah, I missed the bowl at 25 yards broadside. Fuck all that. That shit happens. I'm talking about like completely just bombed the entire hunt on some dumbass mistake that you made.
oh well, definitely missed a lot of elk, but trying to think here. So
I'm trying to make myself feel a little bit better. So
no, dude,
I need to
yeah,
hear some of your fuck ups.
I don't know, dude. I think probably it is a miss still, but probably my worst one. It was on a whitetail, and it was just late November, dude. They were just rutting like crazy, and so I was tree stand hunting at the time, and I started rattling, and all of a sudden I saw this buck off to my left. He was a big buck too, like he was nice, probably 140s, and dude, he just I don't know, he could have just ran straight towards me, but no, he had to put on a whole entire show first. He ran like 200-300 yard loop and just breaking everything, just running in, came in, and he was like 15 yard, just stiff legged, drooling, just looking around right where I rattled from, and I was like, I had it range. I mean, it's 15 yards. I don't know what the hell I was thinking. I put my 30 on him. I was like, it just airballed it. Like that's probably my worst one, dude. And that one haunts me to this day.
Yeah, it's
He
I
is a good buck.
I thought that you might say something like that, like you were practicing the day before at 80 or something and never moved your pins and just launched it. I figured it'd be
Oh,
something like that. That shit's really easy to do though.
yeah,
'Cause
that has happened.
you have multiple pins too, don't you?
Yeah, well, this year I'm actually running an option site, the option 8. So that one, it just has a mover that moves within the site house. So that's kind of why I'm shooting that one now, because that keeps me from rolling the whole entire wheel and doing that. But
Yeah.
yeah, no, I actually did have that happen now. Thanks for bringing that up. I forgot about that one. I pushed that one back in my memory. No, I did have a bull. This was probably 8 years ago, and I think I was dialed 70 or 80,
Yeah.
and he came out at 30.
Yeah.
Yeah, that
Yeah.
one that didn't go over well. Yeah, no, I sent that one just way past him, and yeah, so that was a failed hunt there.
There's did you play baseball at all growing up?
I played some, yeah, but
Okay. Okay.
not on like any teams. I mean, just played it.
So in baseball, like if you're a big baseball guy, whoever's listening that plays baseball knows this. We always baseball. Like a lot of baseball players are very superstitious,
Hmm.
and there's weird things that happen in the game of baseball where we as fans or as players that know the game refer to weird situations or coincidental situations as the baseball gods. You know, like today
Yeah.
was Miguel Cabrera's last baseball game ever,
Hmm.
like first ballot Hall of Famer, and they played him at first base, the position he always used to play, and they were going to pull him in the eighth inning so he could get like a big round of applause and everything. So the last play that he had, they hit him the ball at first base, and he got like the last out. And they're like, "Oh, the baseball gods were like shining down on him."
Yeah.
Well, I also think there's hunting gods too.
Hmm.
So where I'm going with this is I'll try to test that at points. Like for example, I wanted to go hunt bears this weekend because I just bought a new rifle, but I also had my bow because I mean I have elk tags and whatever, and there's
Yeah.
a lot of elk in this area, and it didn't play out this time. But I was like, on the story I told you about that bear scat, I had my bow and I had my gun just in case I saw some elk or something like
Yeah.
that. We'll transition over. I don't know if that's frowned upon or not, but if it is, piss off. And the next day I was like, I'm gonna leave my bow in the truck because I'd really like to see some elk.
Hmm.
So obviously it's not rifle season for elk yet. So I was
Yeah.
like, if I leave my bow in the truck, I guarantee you I'll probably see like a really nice buck or at least some elk that are probably stalkable. I never did, but hunting gods are weird. Like there is weird shit that happens for no apparent reason.
Hmm.
Like one thing that I notice is like if I'm out hunting with somebody, what I'll do on purpose, and it's like almost with everybody that I hunt with, I'll be like, hey, we just act like we're not paying attention. So
Hmm.
let's just like fuck off on our phones or like tell stories or just like not even really pay attention to what's going on, and we're gonna find some elk. Like I guarantee it. And that happens literally almost every single time. As I'm like, hey, let's not pay attention for a little bit. Let's not take this as serious. And I bet you the elk stumble upon us. Fucking
Yeah.
happen, dude. The hunting gods are so weird like that. As soon as they think that you're not paying attention or you don't have your shit together,
Hmm.
then it's on just like that. Do you ever have any experiences like that?
Oh, dude, 100%. Yeah,
Oh,
no, I
it's
mean,
so weird.
it's yeah, I mean, almost all the time. I agree. Like, it even happens in like waterfowl hunting for us. Like, as soon as we start picking up everything, here
Mm-hmm.
comes just a whole bunch of geese. I mean, same thing with elk. Yeah, I've had that happen quite a bit with elk, just kind of hanging out, just slow part of the day, hop on my phone, put on Netflix or whatever, and just
Yep.
all of a sudden there's a bull right there.
Mm-hmm.
And or the worst one is when you're tree stand hunting for whitetails and you're either bringing your bow up or you're climbing out of the stand and the buck starts coming in.
Mm-hmm.
I've had that happen a
Yep.
lot,
And
dude.
it's just sitting there fucking dangling from the string.
Hmm.
Tough,
Yep,
bro.
and you're just sitting there just trying to pull up as slow as you can, but it never works. I mean, at least not in the tree stand. In the field, I've had some stupid like stuff like that happen, and it actually worked out pretty good.
Yeah. And I like seeing elk. I like seeing elk driving down the road when I'm out west and shit like that. And I saw
Hmm.
fuck all for elk this past weekend, and I had just left my buddy. We went hunting this morning, and he's like, I'm gonna go do whatever. And when he got to where he was going, he's like, yeah, there's elk over here. And I was like, of course there's elk over there. I'm going home. Like, of course there is. It's just fucked up how it works sometimes. But it's just a
Yeah.
brutal. It's such a cruel game at times, man. I
Hmm.
call it a game. It's not a game, but you understand what I mean. It's so
Yeah,
uh, frustrating at times, man.
I know, but that's why we love it, dude. We want to do it if it was easy.
That's what I told you this when we were texting earlier. I was like, I think that's
Hmm.
why I like it is because it's so damn hard, man.
Yep.
It's so
Yeah, I
hard.
know. Yeah, I mean, yeah, and it's one of those things like no matter like how difficult it looks, it might suck at the time, but when you look back on it, it was a lot of fun.
Yeah, it always is, dude. It always is. And I didn't really give two fucks what happened this past weekend. I was like, I just need like a mental health trip where I can just go out
Hmm.
by myself, enjoy the time, get rained on all weekend. But
The fun stuff.
I still had fun. I ended up glassing up I think the bear that I missed this spring.
Oh, really?
He was in the same fucking spot, dude. He's a giant. He's probably
God.
50 to 100 pounds bigger than he was the spring. In the spring, he was a mega giant.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
Now, are you gonna try and go back after him, you think?
Dude, I've been out in the Kalispell area 4 times this year. I think at
Yeah.
least four, maybe five. That's a lot of driving, dude. I just drove 450 miles today just to get home.
Yeah.
Not to mention, I got Onyx pulled up on the way home. Like I'm pulling off here, pulling off there. Like
Yeah.
just,
Oh, I know, and it ain't cheap right now either, man.
it sure as fuck ain't, dude. That's my biggest expense in the fall. It's just gas. Everybody knows that. Like if
Yeah.
you live out west and you're mobile, like we try to be, son, you're $80 here, $80 there, sometimes twice a day. It's like, good night.
Oh, I know.
Good
I
night.
know. Yeah, it's my bank account's been depleted a decent amount this year already.
That's all right.
But
That's also part of it, unfortunately.
yeah. Oh, dude. It's it's fun though. I mean, it's been a good season, and I mean, you'll keep getting after it. Rifle season's right around the corner, dude. We'll have
Yeah.
to get out, do some hunts together here
Do
too.
you hunt with a gun as well?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. I mean, I'm trying to get all archery this year,
Dude,
but I don't know,
you
dude.
might as well, brother. You got one more to fill, man. You're on a heater.
I'm gonna be so picky on deer though, dude. Like that's my biggest thing this year is just we got 2 months left, so I figured why not? I wanna just put my time in the field and just enjoy it, try and find a big old just crusty buck and try and get after it.
What direction do you go to hunt deer usually?
Honestly, pretty much anywhere. I mean, I'm originally from Missoula,
Okay.
so I got spots over there. I got spots out east. I mean, family's been 5 generations here in Montana, so kind of just
Got a
have
couple
stuff all over
got a
that I
couple
kind of know
spots.
about.
That's good.
Yeah,
Yeah, you go out to like 700s.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I've been out there
Yeah.
before.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dude, it is so crazy how it's like you're in two different states. If you're in eastern Montana and if you
Hmm.
go all the way out west, like, like where you're from, Kalispell, Whitefish Glacier shit.
Yeah.
Dude, it is two completely different worlds. Like
Oh,
not
I know.
even remotely close, brother.
I know. It's like Alaska to Nebraska.
It seriously is, dude. And even the temperature, like
Oh
it
yeah.
was low 40s today out west, and I get back here and it was like mid 50s, like almost 60. It's so strange.
I know, dude. It was cold out today. I mean, I actually put the heat on today for the first time.
Oh, getting soft, bro. Come on.
I know, first week off, and I'm already getting too comfortable.
That's hilarious, dude. That's so funny. Let's bounce real quick. Used to be big, right?
Yep. Yeah, it used to be
How
270s.
270? What are you now? Like 90?
Yeah, so I got down to the lowest, 158 at one point, and then that was too low. So now I'm hovering 185, 190.
Okay. 185, 190. How'd you do it? Everybody wants the secret sauce.
Slim fast. No. No, dude, just honestly, so like I wasn't trying to really, just I had really bad eating habits, of course, like anyone that size does. And just one year, so like I was working on a crusher, so I was in mining. So in the winters, we'd have it off. And this one year, I mean, I just ate like dog shit. And I just saw the scale go up. And then the next year, when I had that winter off, I just figured I'd try and eat a little bit cleaner. And just, I didn't want to gain weight, was the main goal. And so it was like a month or so, just wake up, I'd make omelets and stuff, just eating clean pretty much. And then just one day for shits and giggles, I just was like stepping on the scale, like just peeking at it. I was like, oh shit, here we go.
Huh?
And no, dude, to my surprise, I lost like 20 something pounds in like a month just doing that.
Just off of changing your diet.
Yeah.
No
Yeah.
working
And I
out.
mean, no, I mean, yeah, just I maybe was going for some walks, just shed hunting for deer antlers and stuff, but that's nothing too crazy.
Right.
But yeah, I mean, yeah, just doing that. It's crazy when you're bigger, it's really easy at first. Like just you don't have to cut out everything, I've noticed. Just start like small, cut out a couple things. Like cut out like pop, like Oreos was a big thing for me back in
Yeah,
the day.
yeah.
Just shit like that.
Cut out pop and don't eat past 8 p.m.
Oh yeah,
If
yeah,
you're 270, son, you're gonna lose a significant amount of weight just by doing those two things.
yeah, dude. It was
Hmm.
crazy. I mean, yeah, just starting off, just doing that. Yeah, and then just after that, once I saw that scale go down like that, I was like, oh, that was pretty easy. So I just kind of kept up with it, and I mean, I stalled out at points, of course, like anyone does,
Yeah,
and I wasn't in a rush. Was the biggest thing I noticed. So
I
I
love that.
lost it.
I love
Yeah, I
that.
lost it over like 2 years, just taking my time, and then once I lost it, I hit that like 170 mark and then kept going down. And at that point, I was like, all right, I need to start hitting the gym and just kind of start building up some muscles and stuff. And then I kept dropping weight and just bad mindset. It's the same thing as being too heavy, just
Sure.
getting too light, just chasing that scale down. But
Yes.
yeah, then I finally got out of that and just started hitting the gym pretty hard and just eating clean again, just elk meat, deer meat, and rice and potatoes, just all natural stuff. And yeah, doing that, like especially this last year, dude, I've really focused on building muscle, and I've seen some huge improvements and put on some pounds, a little bit of fat, but I'm not worried about that. I like having a little bit of extra for the season. I mean,
Yeah.
I lost 10 pounds when I killed my bull this year, so it's pretty easy to lose it once I'm out in the field. But no, I mean, it was a journey, but I mean, it's crazy how much better my life is just from losing that 100 pounds. And then, yeah, it's pretty wild how much my life has changed.
And you weren't in a rush. I've never really heard anybody say it like that because
Hmm.
everybody, I mean, you know what I do. Everybody that I deal with or talk to, I shouldn't say everybody. A lot, a few people are realistic,
Yeah.
right? Like a few people are realistic. Um, but the majority of them, they're like, man, I want to do this, I want to do this, I want to do this, I want to do that. I got to do
Hmm.
that. It's like, I understand that, but you have to understand that this stuff takes a significant amount of time.
Yeah.
No quick fixes in this weight loss or muscle building phase. Like all
Yeah.
this shit you see on the internet, all these people online, like half of them are juiced to the gills. Half of them don't even take the supplements that they're promoting,
Hmm.
and almost all of them never really were big. They've always been in shape, so it's easy for them to be like, "Hey, I did this 2-month program and got shredded."
Yeah.
Like, well, maybe you did, but you probably didn't do it in the most optimal, healthy way that you should have done it. Because, I mean, if you lose a significant amount of weight really, really quickly, there's some negative side effects that come with that,
Yeah.
like
Oh yeah.
metabolism and everything like that. So I like that you weren't in a rush and you went at it gradually. Therefore, it probably didn't seem like it was as big of a task. And if I'm wrong, tell me.
Yeah.
But it
No,
probably
you're
didn't.
spot on.
It probably didn't seem as daunting at first because you're like, hey, just I'm gonna put a day together. I'm gonna put a week together. I'm gonna put a month
Hmm.
together. And if you just stay consistent, you keep doing those things, you're gonna see that weight, disappear. But
Yep.
you can't be in a rush. You don't have to go from one extreme to the next. Like you don't have to just be like, I'm not eating any carbs. It's like, well, you can eat carbs, bro. Like I promise, you can eat carbs. Just don't eat
Yep.
fucking 4 servings of them
Yeah.
or maybe
No.
eat them around your workouts. Either eat it, maybe a little bit before and then really pound it
Hmm.
afterwards. So,
Yeah.
like you kind of like baby steps, no?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, if you think about it, dude, like for me, that was like 20 something years of bad habits. It's not going
Yes.
to come off in 2 months.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean,
People don't.
yeah.
A lot of people don't understand that. A quick fix, quick fix, and I feel like that's internet, that's TV, that's just the world that we. Everybody
Hmm.
wants everything now, right? Like,
Yeah.
I want to get thousands of downloads per episode.
Yep.
It's like, well, I mean, I got to get one download before I can get thousands.
Yeah.
I got to lose
Yep.
one. I got to lose 1 pound before I lose 100.
Yeah.
But people like they go straight to the end game, and it's like, man, that's just not reality. And
No.
anything that you do, like, it's not reality at all. So,
Yeah.
I appreciate you saying that. That might be the podcast episode.
Yeah.
Not in a rush, or maybe I'll tie something into that. But I like that a lot, dude. And it worked for you, right? It
Yeah,
worked
man.
for
No, I
you.
mean, yeah. 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 It's just, I mean, yeah, it's consistency and just taking the time. And yeah, I mean, it didn't seem like a task at all, really. I mean, just eating clean, like I said, I wish I would have worked out during the process, but at the time I just didn't. And, but I mean, now after doing that, just, yeah, I just pretty much transitioned like that same mindset into my workout and everything. Just take time, just enjoy the process.
Yeah, that's the thing. You got to enjoy it. If it turns into work, as I like to call it,
Hmm.
like as soon as hunting, we go back to hunting real quick. As soon as hunting starts turning into work, then
Yeah.
it starts becoming really fucking enjoyable. It needs to be fun,
Yep.
right? Right? Like the foods that you make, they need to be fun and they need to taste good. You ain't got to eat chicken and fucking rice every day. Like you don't have to. It'll work, but
No.
like you can
Yeah.
add some spice in your life too, brother. Like, it needs to be manageable. It
Hmm.
needs to be repeatable, and you also have to experiment and have fun with different with foods and workouts and things like that. So
Oh yeah, dude. Yeah, I know. I've pretty much became like a chef after trying to learn how to lose
Yeah,
weight, dude.
yeah,
Yeah, like you can make anything unhealthy into some sort of a healthier version, pretty
yeah.
much.
And even like dumb shit, right? Like people, I don't know many people that don't like Chipotle. Maybe you don't, but a lot of people love
Oh
Chipotle.
no.
A lot of people love Chipotle. It's like,
Yeah.
man, if you're trying to lose some weight, like you can still eat Chipotle every now and then,
Yep.
but just change it up.
Yeah.
No sour cream. Don't
Hmm.
fucking ask for double guac, and don't have them give you three handfuls of all that cheese. Like a half of a
Yeah.
handful at Chipotle is enough, and then the rice too.
Yeah.
Just be like, yo, half a serving of rice. And
Yep.
you can eat Chipotle fucking multiple times a week and still get it done.
Oh yeah.
But it's just those little fine tuned, minute
Hmm.
things that people don't think
Yep.
play a part, but it does.
Yeah.
It really does.
Oh yeah, dude. All the little extra things, just a couple calories gone here and there out of a meal adds up to just a bunch at the end of the year.
It does.
Yeah.
It does. Well, that's a great story, man. Like I've been wanting to get you on for a while. I can't even. What is today? Sunday? Yeah. So it's like that should tell you. I realized today that it was October, so
Oh, I know.
I'm doing a million things at once. But we've talked um quite a bit, you know, and I know a little bit about your background and stuff like that. And when you told me that a couple months ago when we were shooting at the range, I was
Hmm.
like, get the fuck out of here. Like 270, dude. I was like, no way. You're like, oh
I know,
yeah.
dude.
And then Alex was like, I used to be fat too, and I was like, really? He's like, yeah, I lost like a ton of weight too, and I'm like, what the fuck? Like, you guys look awesome. So, I
Yeah,
mean,
man. Thanks.
how I look at it, man, is like you're just a dude, right?
Yeah.
You did it.
Yeah. I did it. Anyone else can, dude.
That's what I'm saying,
I
bro.
mean, yeah, it's just gotta put your head down, just stick to it.
Yeah,
Just put away the junk, and that's it.
yeah. What other hobbies do you have? I know you like photography, right?
Yeah, yeah. So I do a lot of photography.
You're like the perfect
For,
guest for this show, right? You hunt elk, you're into fitness, and you also do photography.
yep. Yeah, dude.
Yes.
Yeah. So I mean, pretty much all my hobbies in a way revolve around hunting. I mean, photography, mainly hunting photography. Um, I know I showed you when you were over here, like some of those bows and stuff that I made.
Yeah, there's a
Uh,
couple behind you. I know there is. Yep.
yeah, yeah, there's a few right here. Yeah, so I do a lot of primitive archery stuff, and I've taken down a couple animals with that too. So, so I'm a boyer as well, is what it's called. Make bows and then primitive arrows and flint knapping too. So I've done that. That's a fun one. Haven't stepped up to the plate with elk on that one yet, though, dude. I mean, maybe someday, but I'm not that confident yet. I like my compound for elk.
Yeah, yeah, you should, man. Oh Lord. You know the
But
Bomar dude? What's his
yeah,
name? I'm pretty sure
Josh.
I'm pretty sure he killed like a giant grizzly with a fucking like stick bow.
I kind of remember seeing something like that pop up in my
Get the
YouTube recommendations.
fuck out of here, man. Unbelievable.
No, yeah, no, that's actually what I'm hoping to do this next spring is archery black bear. That would be fun calling him in.
Yeah, let's go. I'll bring my rifle, but let's go.
Yeah, let's do it, dude. Let's get a plan together this year. I got some
My,
spots that are pretty good.
my buddy, he was giving me shit the other day because we were talking, and he's like, man, fuck archery hunting. I was like, man, I feel that way sometimes too, man. Like it's just like I said, it's just a brutal fucking game at times, right?
Oh yeah,
And I was like, dude, I'm just ready for rifle season because I'm not proud. Like I got a new rifle. I'm all excited. I've been practicing. I'm gonna get out and practice some more, obviously before season and stuff.
yeah.
He's like, man, we're gonna have to change your show to stock performance. And I was like, stock performance? What are you talking about? He's like, butt stock. I was like, you motherfucker.
That's all. Well, dude,
uh,
no, you'll just keep after it. You'll get one down.
no, I'm having a blast, dude. I just enjoy learning. That's why I like doing this show is just to have people on that I can, you know, pick their brains. And every time I go out, whether it be with a buddy or by myself, like whenever I get back to the truck, I just drive to the next spot or drive back to camp, whatever. But I'm
Yeah,
always like, man, like I'm always trying to think, like, hey, what'd you learn? What'd you learn? Or what could you done differently. I'm always debriefing. I've talked about that on here before, but
Yeah.
if you're not learning, like as cliche as it is to say, you know this one, but it's like you're either getting better, you're getting worse, you're never staying the same. Like
Hmm.
if you're just going out and dicking the dog, so to speak, and not really being critical of yourself when, shit gets dicey,
Yeah.
I don't know if you're ever gonna get any better. Like there's
Yeah.
been so many things that I've learned over the past year and a half, and I mean the season's still very young. It's October 1st. We still got a couple months to get after it, but it's like I'm just learning so much. I'm learning things that I never even knew would play a factor in this whole game.
Hmm.
It's just one thing after the
Yeah.
other where it's like, wow, don't do that again, or repeat that. Like, hey, you really did great here. So
Yeah.
that's another reason why this game to me is just a blast.
Oh, I know, dude. Like that's one thing. The past couple of years, like before that, I'd always just kind of like I'd hear an elk and go. And this year, like even with antelope, like I caught myself a couple times this year where I was like, okay, there's one, and I just started heading that way. But then I'd stop myself in my tracks. I was like, just sit here for a minute. Nothing, they're not going anywhere. Just look at them, see what's going on, just think about it for a
Just
minute.
take a minute, right?
Yep, yep.
Yeah,
And
dude.
that's a big game changer for me too. Is just actually thinking on it for a bit. I mean,
Yeah.
usually you have the time when you're bow hunting to sit there for 5, 10 minutes, whatever, glass, look at terrain, see what options you have, and just check wind and stuff. I mean, yeah, all those little things. Once you start picking those up and just thinking about every little thing that you can do, it's crazy how close you can get on animals.
It is, man. And my old man was here last week, and we only had one day that we could kind of bomb out and do a little hunting. So he can't get around like big country like you and I can. So I was like, hey, let's go check out these antelope. I got a couple antelope spots, and we got to this spot, and somebody was in there like bird hunting. They were like hunting pheasants. I was like, well,
Hmm.
fuck, like this dude's got his dog. He's running. I'm like glassing him up. I'm like, fuck, we can't go in here. Like if there was antelope in here, there's not anymore.
Yeah.
So we explored just a touch and ended up getting into some really, really good terrain, like very
Hmm.
stalkable terrain. And then it was almost like everything just clicked. Like
Yeah.
we found these antelope. They were in the perfect spot. Like you could tell where they were bedded. We're like, oh, dude, like when I shut the truck door, I was like, we're gonna we're gonna get a shot off here. Like they were in the absolute perfect spot. And my dad's like, oh, the wind's terrible. And I was like, not the way that we're going. I was
Yeah.
like, we're gonna get this wind in our favor. So,
Hmm.
but I took a minute. I planned my route in there. I dropped a pin on them, and I was dead
Hmm.
spot on with the pin too, which
Yeah.
also is something that I'm usually not terribly good at. But for this, the whole day it just worked, and all my stalks were really good. I had 3 good stalks. The first stalk I had, I got a shot off, kind of a hail mary, but just trying to impress the old man. But things just started clicking, and I think
Yeah.
one of the reasons, well, two of the reasons that they started clicking was because I've been hunting them in too flat a terrain. Like,
Yep.
fuck the open prairie. I can't get close enough, dude.
It's
I,
it's it's terrible, dude.
I can't get close enough, and I'm not fixing to belly crawl 500 fucking yards.
Hmm.
And then two, I slowed down. Like, I
Hmm.
slowed
Yeah.
down and was like, hey, drop a pin on them. Take your time. Your dad's with you. He ain't getting around here like he used to 10 years ago. So take your time. Get your wind. If they're there, you're gonna have a great chance. If they're not, fuck it. Like you played everything perfect. And I just slowed
Hmm.
down, took a breath. Like I wasn't overly jacked up, right? And those were
Yeah.
two things for me. I was like, I'm in way better country to hunt them, way more conducive for stalking. And then two, I just slowed down.
Yep.
And that's something I've tried to do all year, regardless of what I'm hunting, is just take a fucking breath. Because if you don't
Oh
have
yeah.
like if the opportunity's there, but you don't have your shit together because you're rushing, you're going to blow the opportunity. So get your shit
Hmm.
together because there's an opportunity right there and just try to make the best out of it. So, I'm always like, oh,
Yeah.
he's going to spook or whatever. It's like, well, if he spooks, he spooks. But if you don't have your shit together, it doesn't matter anyways.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude. I mean, yeah, you watch antelope and stuff. If they're bedded down, they're not going anywhere. They're not in
Mm-mm.
a hurry.
No, they're not.
You have all the time in the world just to take your time and
Yep.
just move slow. Yeah, it's. they did kick my ass this year, so I say one thing, but
I wouldn't say that though, because maybe they did, but like at the end of the day, you won.
yeah,
You did win.
yeah,
Like, yeah, they might have got you in the first half. What's that saying? Might have got they got me in the first half, but we came back. Or I don't know. There's some weird
yeah,
internet saying, but they had you in the first half, but you won the war, kind
hmm
of thing.
yeah, yeah, yeah. No, getting out of that flat terrain, that's a big thing,
Yeah.
dude.
And the only thing that it cost me was just a few more miles, just a little bit more
Hmm
gas. Just a little
Yep.
bit more gas. I have this weird thing where it's like I'm not going fucking 3-4 hours to go hunt antelope, and it's like, motherfucker, like you probably should because you're gonna get a lot more opportunities because it's better
hmm
country.
Yep. I know. That's what I've been doing the past few years too. It's like, man, we live in there's antelope right here, 10
I know,
miles from me,
I
and I'm
know,
like, I don't want to drive 2-3 hours, and
but it's
sure as
worth it,
shit,
dude. It's worth it
yeah,
if you
that's.
can get in the correct country to hunt them. Like I
Hmm
don't care how many of them are where I've been, like in wide open prairie. Like
hmm
if they're in the middle of the prairie, just fucking keep driving, dude. Like don't
Yep.
even think about it. Like just go.
Yeah.
Like you ain't gonna kill them, dog. Like you're just not. You're not gonna sneak up behind them.
Oh, I know.
You ain't
I
sneaking up
know. They're
behind no antelope. I've tried it, dog. It don't work.
as soon as you park your truck, they're looking at you,
That's
dude.
it,
You
dude.
got no chance.
And like if you can see them, literally there's a 99% chance that they can see you.
Oh yeah, they
It,
got their eyes are insane,
it's
dude.
so crazy, man.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, and
crazy.
they always have a doe position just perfect in that wide open country too.
Hmm. Hmm. And it's always the does, right? It's always the
Hmm
cows. It's always the cows. It's always
Yep.
the does. Either antelope
hmm
does, whitetail, mule deer does. They're always so turned on. Half the time, these bucks don't even know that I'm after them.
Yeah.
These antelope bucks ain't really paying much attention, especially this time of year because last week they were on fire.
Oh yeah.
Like they were on fire, dude. Like
hmm
we watched one buck breed this doe freaking 100 yards from the truck. He didn't give a shit. I mean,
Yeah.
not private, so like he's got Onyx too, but
yeah.
it's one of them things where you know they're not really concerned right now. There's one thing on their mind, and we both know what that is, and it's not us.
yeah.
It's thinking with
Oh
the other.
yeah.
They're thinking with the other head,
Yep.
and so like if you can catch one alone, hard to do this time of year, but fuck your
yeah.
chances skyrocket. I've noticed, man. Like you get
hmm
that lone buck, that lone bull. I just less eyes, right? Less eyes, less
Yep.
noses, less eyes.
Yep.
Hmm.
Yeah. Yeah. That antelope I got this year, he was actually alone. Yeah, and I mean,
Hmm.
I actually decoyed that one in. It worked out pretty sweet.
Now here's a question, dude. Is that effective? Do I need to get one? Like, what's the deal?
It can be. So
How?
so like that buck antelope, they're really curious animals.
They are. Yep.
So like you can even have like a t-shirt on that is like white and
Yeah, I've heard about
just
that.
flag them, and that can sometimes pique their curiosity enough to get in range. They kind of always hover that 100 yards, but like
Boy, they are.
this year, yeah, they know right where your pin stopped, dude.
Sure as fuck do.
Yeah, no, yeah. So that buck I got this year, I mean, I saw him by himself, and I did a big loop, got the wind and everything right, and I have one of those decoys that go on the front of the bow,
Yep, I'm
predator
familiar with
decoy
them.
or whatever. Yeah, and anyways, I was just walking, just kind of. He ended up moving up higher than from where I originally saw him. And all of a sudden, I looked up and he's sitting there looking at me. But thankfully, I had my decoy in front of me, and he just started coming after me, just not in a hurry. But then there's this little coulee in between him and me. I dropped down, and I knew that he was probably going to keep coming. And he must have just dead on sprint towards me at one point when I didn't have any visual on him, because here he was 200 yards in front of me. And when I got down in that coulee, all of a sudden he was right there just to my left, just walking towards where you last saw me. I was like, holy shit. And
Yeah.
just perfectly broadside. And I mean, yeah, so that's one of those situations where it worked good. But one time where it's like really effective, I've noticed, if you can get, so if you find like a buck and he's chasing off some younger bucks from his does, if you can get in between him and his does, he'll come in and just try and run you off too if you have a
Ah,
decoy, and that can be pretty effective.
yeah. Take notes of that. I might swing by your house tomorrow and grab that fucking thing, borrow
Yeah. Yeah, dude. You're more than welcome to.
it. I might get out a couple more times and chase those critters, but
Yeah, I think we're going out next. Is it? I think next week is rifle season. Both my brothers, they have rifle tags,
nice.
so might get out and help them do some photography and video their hunt.
Heck yeah,
It's either
that's
that or go
awesome.
chase some deer.
Yeah,
Still trying to decide.
it's all right. You got time for deer. You got a lot.
Yeah,
You got a lot of time for deer.
yeah.
Hey, this is a dumb question, bro, because I could easily just pull up the website. But archery's over. Is it the 16th? It was the 16th last year.
Uh, it's usually the 15th or 16th.
And then
Yeah,
they take
so
like a 5-day break or whatever, and then pick it up on the
yeah,
next Monday. Is that what it is?
yeah. So like then there's like a youth season in between that
That's what it
for
is.
a
Yep.
couple days.
Yeah.
Yeah, so they give the chance to kids to kill some deer and stuff before everyone else, before the whole pumpkin army gets out after it.
Yep. Yep. I
Yeah,
remember that because we were rifle hunting antelope last year, and we ran into a kid and his dad, and he was deer hunting
yeah,
that weekend because that weekend was dead. You couldn't hunt anything else, I don't think. But
yeah,
yeah, I remember that. That makes sense. No, that'd be good, man. Let's plan something. I'd love to get out with you and just explore. I have a couple more tags than you do, but that's all right.
Hey man, well I wish I had a couple more tags still. I mean it's a little bleak looking right now when I open up my tags.
That's okay. It's all right. At
Yeah,
least you have a. It wasn't not too long ago. You punched a couple. That's what you're supposed to do.
yeah, yeah. No man, yeah. We need to get something planned. Either go do some deer hunting, or if I do go deer hunting next weekend, I'll probably be in some areas where there's going to be antelope. So if you want to tag along,
Yeah, maybe like a little 2-day, 3-day thing.
yeah,
Yeah, that'd be
yeah, go,
fun.
go check it out on the weekend or something.
Yeah, let's talk. Let's go shoot some bow this week too. That'd be cool.
Yeah, yeah. I'm gonna hit the range probably tomorrow or Wednesday. So yeah,
Cool.
one of those days.
Absolutely. Well, dude, this comes out literally in like 8 hours, so that's cool.
Right
I
on.
appreciate you coming on. Quick
Yeah,
turnaround.
man.
Quick
Thanks for
turnaround.
having me on.
Yeah, absolutely. Do you have anything that you want to play? I know you do a little bit of work for Kafaru, right?
Yep.
Do you have like any discount codes or anything that people can use or anything like that you have sponsorships with?
No,
No?
no,
Okay,
I don't.
perfect. What's your where can people follow you?
Crush T underscore photog is my Instagram.
Perfect. Yeah, go over and give Travis a follow. He's really good on the camera, fills a lot of tags. He's one of the guys. And there's quite a few. I'm trying to surround myself with him, but he's one of those guys that just gets it done. He does his work in silence. He don't brag, he don't talk. He just goes out, does this shit because he loves it. He's also really good at it, and I'm sure if you have any questions or anything about something that he said in the podcast, shoot him a DM and he'd be more than happy to answer it for you.
Yeah, man. Appreciate it, bro.
I appreciate you, man. We'll run this back here maybe towards the end of season, early next year, and
Yeah.
maybe we'll have some more stories to tell.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, let's do
Sick,
it.
sick, man. Well, listen, appreciate you coming on. Stay on the line with small talk and get you out of here, brother.
All right, sounds good, man.
Sweet.